Hi, welcome to my July TBR video. I have got 6 books to tell you about because I'm still sticking with the plan of not planning too much, and then I don't feel overwhelmed, and then if I don't read like 50 books in a month I don't feel as bad. So but the 6 that I've picked I'm really excited about. However, I've just been reading I make like a spreadsheet each month of the books that I'm thinking about reading, and I write like a 1-sentence kind of description of that book just to give myself a little reminder when I'm looking at my list what the book's about. And it just really tickled me, because if you've ever seen those posts on like say Facebook or whatever, and it says like describe your job in the most boring way possible, or describe a movie in the most boring way possible, and it seems that I have done that with these books without meaning to. So as I'm going along I'll tell you my one line, in fact on one occasion it's a 1-word summary of the book that I'm going to read. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is called The Rule by David Jackson. I've been sent this as an ARC from the publisher. I read The Resident by David Jackson months ago and it was absolutely fantastic. It was about a serial killer who lives or ends up living in the attic of somebody's house and they don't know, and he like sneaks down, steals stuff, goes off killing people and comes back and stuff. It was really good. So I was looking forward to this one. This I describe this as somebody with learning disability kills someone and the parents cover it up. So, to be honest, that pretty much sums up the plot. Yeah, so you've got, I've literally just started reading this at lunchtime today. I've only got about 30 pages in, but it turns out that the main, well, I think he's the main character, Daniel. He's in his early 20s. He's got some sort of developmental problems or like learning disability, because it talks about him having like the mentality and the behaviours of like a young child, and of him not knowing his own strength, and that he, in the past he's accidentally hurt people without realising, including his own family. And that the rule is that he's not allowed to touch anybody in case he uses too much force. And then obviously, as I've just said, he somehow ends up killing somebody and his parents are kind of covering up this murder to protect him. I am really intrigued by this book. I have to say, even though I'm only like, you know, right at the beginning of it, the writing is really like engaging, drawing me in. It's interesting. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be, unless it all goes horribly wrong, it's going to be 4 or 5 stars. Next up is an author that you've probably heard of like so much, and it's The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. I read The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell and absolutely adored this book, so I'm really excited to read this ARC. My one-line summary for this book is, I have to read these. Woman goes on a date and never comes home. So, right, so we have a woman, she goes on a date, she leaves her son with her mother, and she never goes home. She never comes home. She goes missing. And then I think it was like a year later, there are this couple who's out on a walk through some woods, and they spot a sign saying dig here. I'm assuming that they dig and they find a body, and you know, there's some kind of investigation into who murdered her or where she went in that year. I don't know. To be honest, with thrillers, I don't think I need to know a lot going in. I just need to know enough to like pique me interest, and then I just like being really shocked and blindsided by thrillers. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and it has got some really great reviews so far on Goodreads and on NetGalley. And just off camera down here, because I talk with my hands a lot, I've been waving these books around just off camera, so I might as well tell you about them so that I can put them down. So, first up we have Skitter by Ezekiel Boone. This is the second in the Hatching trilogy. The Hatching is about flesh-eating spiders. I know you're not shocked. I read some random stuff. Yeah, I absolutely adored The Hatching. It was so good. It was very much like a modern day version of the film Arachnophobia, where some spiders get into the country via some like shipping crates, and then yeah, they just run amok killing people. However, the hatching was kind of like along the lines of a lot of post-apoc stuff, where it's like worldwide and you get to see what's happening in other countries and how they're dealing with it. It was amazing. I didn't continue the series at the time because I was then busy reading other books. But yeah, I'm getting round to it. I've decided it's on my priority list for 2021. I'm going to read it. And I've even got the third one up there, 0 Day, ready for next month. So yeah, super, super excited about this one. And then The Secret Midwife by a midwife somewhere in the NHS. My one-line review, kind of summary of Skitter is flesh-eating spiders. That's it. And my 2-word summary of this one is medical memoir. It just kind of tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? I am hoping that this is a lot of the down and dirty secrets and the things that we never get to know about on the side of midwifery in the hospitals and in community. There's got to be a reason why it was published anonymously. There's got to be a reason why it was published anonymously, hasn't there? Like, if it was all sunshine and rainbows and something that you wouldn't get in trouble for from your employers, then you'd have your name on it. So I'm hoping that there's like the harsh truth. It does say life, death and the truth about birth. I know I've mentioned before that I am taking part in the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge this year. One of the prompts is to read a book that was published anonymously. This fits the bill. And it's a medical memoir, which I usually love. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Sorry, had to stop there for a sec. That plane was getting quite noisy. Right, next up is a book that I'm sure you've seen everywhere at the moment, or at least being mentioned on YouTube and Instagram, and that's Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I've really enjoyed Riley Sager's books in the past. I think one of them, Home Before Dark. Home Before Dark was 4-star, I think, and then Final Girls, I think 3-star, can't remember, I think that was slightly less. But either way, I did still really enjoy them. So, Survive the Night, my one-line summary is: girl on way home from event gets a lift with someone who might be a serial killer. That's literally the information I gained from reading the synopsis on Goodreads. So, my understanding of this book from reading that is that there's some kind of event on in Ohio. And the 2 people who have attended the event need to get home for some reason to a similar area. They decide to car share. The girl is aware that there has been some murders in the area, and while she's in the car travelling on this long journey home, she starts realising that there's something not quite right about the guy that she's sharing the car with, and starts thinking that he could be this killer and she's in danger. It then says something about like a cat and mouse chase and her being hunted and all this. I don't know. It sounds really good. Again, thriller. Don't need to know too much. It has got some really great reviews on Goodreads, so I'm looking forward to it. And last but certainly not least, is a book that I'm like desperate to read, but I'm also really frightened of reading because literally the beginning of April, I read The Prison Healer by Lynette Nonny, and I just literally devoured it in like less than 48 hours. I just absolutely adored that book. And then I still haven't quite decided whether it was that book or me and things that put me in a massive reading slump for months that I'm only sort of now just like starting to come round a bit. So even though I really want to read this next book in the series, I'm a little scared of that happening again. I obviously can't tell you too much about this second book because that would ruin the first book, but it is fantasy. We've got a girl called Kiva who is locked away in prison, but she's the prison healer as well as a prisoner. and one day a rebel queen is brought in who's been captured. She's unconscious. Kiva's job is to keep her alive to get her through these like trials by element, where the queen will be put through different trials to this rebel queen, sorry, will be put through different trials to prove that she is actually royalty, that she's got magic and she deserves the throne. Unfortunately, she is not well enough to do those trials, and Kiva volunteers for her in true Hunger Games fashion. And Kiva was just incredible. I loved this book. I've raved about it. Literally from the second I finished the last word, I was like, I need to read the next one, because the book left us on a massive, massive twisty cliffhanger that I was just like, oh, when I read it. So I really, really, really want to read it, but I really don't, just in case. But yeah, so that is my plans for July, and let's see how they go. I will obviously be fitting some audio books in there as well, but I don't generally plan those as much. They seem to be more like mood reads for me, or, you know, fillers and stuff when I'm working. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all soon in another video. Bye!